everybody, and welcome to the Mary and Jerry podcast. I'm Jerry, the grouchy historian.
What are you doing with your voice?
That's my announcer voice. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Hi, I'm Mary.
And I'm practicing for radio, you know.
I'm not grouchy or a historian, and I do love Sundays.
I know.
And I don't have an announcer voice.
I know. I have to use your announcer voice. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday at the Speedway.
Okay, speed racer.
No, that would be you. Ask the very nice policeman in Southern Virginia, just saying.
I had places to go, and I needed to get there quickly and on time. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, you know why I pulled you over?
Welcome to our third podcast.
We
had introduction.
Yes.
Oh, I guess this is our second one. So we had the introduction, and then, number one,
right,
which we talked about our
anniversary, because it came out on our anniversary.
And then this is number two, I guess, or number three, depending on if you count
whatever.
Introduction as number one. We'll count it as number two. Okay. Right?
Okay, sure.
And today we're going to talk about dating.
I know.
We did that.
Fascinating topic. Yeah, we did that back in the old days, which brings us to a number of observations we want to share. So,
okay, so let's, and I want to make sure that we actually are constructive here and not destructive.
So, dating. Why are the old folks talking about dating, right? I mean, we've been married 35 years, which you probably know. Here's why. So when my honey lamb goes out to speak, which she does for, a lot, and then when we go out to speak together, right, because we've done a number of talks together, including local talks here.
Or when we do a marriage retreat
or something, we will have, we'll just call them young people, which of course is pretty much everybody under the age of 40 to us these days, but particularly folks under the age of 30,
right,
come up to us and say, where are all the good single Catholic
right,
blank men, women? Where are they?
Where are they?
Where are they? I want to get married, but there's, the dating pool is dried up.
Okay. First of all, the dating pool is never dried up. So let's just get that out of your mind.
I know, but that's what they think. That is their
Very
impression.
True. So we get this question a lot, where are they?
How do I find them?
How do I find them? What do I do once I found them?
What's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me that I'm not finding them? All of these things. So we thought we'd just kind of break it down into a few gentle suggestions without Jerry's boombox. Okay?
I was just breaking it down.
I got it.
Okay, so you go first.
Number one, you got to be brave in the scared.
Where have I heard that term before?
I wrote a book.
Oh, that's right.
That's the title of my book. It's not about dating. It's about my life. But be brave in the scared.
It works.
Okay? This is, when we met on a blind date. Jerry was not my blind date. He was my friend's blind date.
I think we told that story.
I think we did. And if we didn't, I'm sure you've heard it. If you haven't heard it, let us know that you haven't heard it and we'll tell it again. And I had to be brave that first night that I met him. And I had to be honest about, was I attracted to him? Was I not? He was cute. He was funny. But here's the thing. He made me feel beautiful. He made me feel cared for. He pulled out my chair. He opened the door. He asked if I needed something to drink. He, was very attentive to me. And therefore, I was attentive to him, right? Because when we receive that type of care, we want to give that type of care, right? So I had to be brave to receive it because I'm a pretty independent woman. Don't need a whole lot of help in my life, except for I need Jesus every single day of my life or I'm worthless. But, I just didn't ever have that experience dating before. I think I dated boys, and you were the first man I really dated, and it showed. So you got to be brave. You got to be brave to receive it. You have to be brave to, put yourself in a situation where you might meet them. Especially for our introverted friends, it's hard to go out and be social, but you got to be brave. That's the first thing.
Yep.
Jerry's second thing, you think. And FYI, we did not discuss this before pressing play.
Well, let's see. How do I say this politely? Second thing is you have to be presentable.
Oh, that's good.
Right? I mean, like when we go to these talks, particularly when we go to our diocese has what they call a theology on tap series. So you meet at a local pub, you have a talk, you have questions and answers. We've done a couple of these, and they're always fascinating because we always get the same questions, which run along the lines of this. But it's interesting to see, when you go out or when you go to an event or you go to an opportunity to meet members of the opposite sex, are you ready? Are you, not in a t-shirt and jeans? I mean, that's kind of basic stuff, but here's my favorite. Are you ready to have a discussion about something besides, gentlemen, video games and sports? I'll just put that out there in the verse, because it has been my experience that first of all, it's super awkward to talk to a cute girl, and it's really super awkward if you don't have anything to talk about. Now, we're not talking, you don't need to talk about, the Summa or anything.
Or quantum physics.
But,
And when we talk about the Summa, we mean the Summa Theologica. Correct? By
yeah,
Thomas
what were you
Aquinas.
thinking about? Wow,
There's another Summa out there,
That
Jer.
escalated quickly. Anyway.
We don't need to know about that one.
but I mean, it's just, be prepared. Anytime you go to any Catholic event.
Or any event. It doesn't have to be Catholic. Any social
prepared,
event.
right?
Yeah.
The old Boy Scout motto back in the day. Be prepared. Okay?
So, gentlemen, as a woman, let me tell you what that means for you to be prepared. That means personal hygiene. That means we really like deodorant. Not the natural kind, the kind that actually makes you stop sweating and or smelling. We believe in washing your hair, shaving your face, brushing your freaking teeth.
Now, this may seem sort of insulting, but it's an observation.
But we were just at a social event,
mm-hmm.
and we witnessed such things.
I mean, I'm just going to put it out there in the verse. You can do with it what you want.
Don't. And ladies, let us not show all of the goods. Okay. There is something beautiful about being mysterious. Maybe you don't wear makeup, which is totally cool, but your hair is washed, your face is
Dry
washed.
shampoo doesn't count, does it?
No, it doesn't. We cannot
Just
be
saying.
on day 7 hair. Okay, let's try to be on, day 2 hair. Let's not wear something that, requires you to forego undergarments. We believe in
Wow, that was very delicately put.
Thank you. We believe in undergarments. Undergarments are a beautiful thing, and we should wear them on the regular. This is not a place.
Wear them on the regular. Okay.
This is not a place for yoga pants. I love me some yoga pants. But when I'm going out on the town or gonna go to some event where there are gonna be other people, the possibility of meeting my future spouse, that's not really what I'm gonna choose to wear. Okay. Yeah. Every woman has her individual style. And I'm gonna say number 3 is the sexiest thing to a man is confidence and
contentment. Let me help you with that. Contentment, right? And what does that mean?
That means that nobody should hear your biological clock ticking. That means that you shouldn't be clingy or desperate. That means you are there just to meet someone, just to be seen. And gentlemen, that requires a courageous act of you to actually go approach a young lady. Don't make her come to you. Be a man. Go to her.
Ooh, I'll tell my story after this.
And then ladies, if they come and they ask you to buy you a drink or to ask you to dance or to, is this seat taken? Take a breath and remember how much courage it took for them to ask you, and then make a decision. I'm not going to tell you to say yes because, if you don't feel safe, I get it. Don't say yes. But if it's because they're like not your type or he's not, tripping your hunka vibes or whatever.
Hunka vibes.
You tripped my hunka vibes. The alarms aren't going off in your head. That's okay. You can practice on him, right? You can have a conversation. You can talk about things. Just what we've witnessed recently in the last 3 to 5 years is just stunning to me. And, here's a perfect example of it. Jerry, your story, my love.
And I'm going to blame dating apps, right? I mean, I'm sorry. I just
because they're not people. They're
I'm going to
freaking-
blame dating apps. So here's my perfect example of the state of modern dating. And this just happens to be a Catholic event, but I think it's probably applicable to anything.
Yeah.
So about, I don't know, 2 years ago?
Actually, no, 4 years ago now.
4 years ago, we went to meet with a bunch of our young Catholic friends, of course, because everybody is our young Catholic friends.
Pretty much.
At this bar in D.C., where we had a little room set aside because one of our friends had set up this big Catholic meetup, right? He wanted to meet, he wanted
everybody to meet each other.
Wanted
like we're
everybody
all
to
going to be
meet
in
each other,
town for
right?
the pro-life march, so let's all get together.
So we went into this room, and of course, Mary and I were
the oldest people
there, and pretty much everybody there could be our children, which is not an unusual situation for us. So, of course, as soon as we walk in, about 4 or 5 young women go, "Oh, are you Mary Lenaburg?" And they rush up.
Don't think they sounded quite like that.
Well, no, but they all, okay, fine. They're like, "Oh, are you Mary Lenaburg?" And then they immediately flocked to you at the bar and started, asking you questions, and you were chit-chatting and all this. Okay. So I'm standing there being arm candy, which of course
is the best arm candy.
My usual role in life out in public with Mary Lenaburg.
Oh, stop it.
And I'm just watching. And I'm watching the room because it's what I do. I observe the room. Now, I noticed that at the entrance to the room, just outside the entrance where everybody, are these 4 young men. And they're standing there and I'm watching them and they're all like whispering to each other conspiratorially. And I look over at the women and I see that the women have observed the men looking at them.
These are the 4 young women that I was chatting with.
So I am immediately transported to a National Geographic special where we are on the Serengeti watching the primitive mating rituals. And I'm standing there and I'm watching, and like the women are making googly eyes at the men are making googly eyes at the women, but nobody is moving. And
like literally, they're about what, 10 paces apart?
Yeah, they're just staring
and Jerry and I,
at
we're
each
just
other.
chatting, we're talking, and we're looking, and we're chatting and talking.
And there's plenty
looking.
of room at the bar.
Oh yeah, they could just come up.
They could just just kind of mosey up and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
No, don't ever do that. Don't ever say that. Just say hi.
Well, okay.
My name is.
I was doing a little extra improv. So finally, I look at my honey lamb and I go, "Okay, I've had enough of this." And she's like, "What are you going to go do?" I said, "Just wait here."
Just wait here.
So I walk over, and of course I have this, what I call my resting Jerry face on. Other people call it other things.
RBF.
My RBF. And I walk over and I say, "Gentlemen, how you doing?" And they're like,
he introduces himself to all 4 people.
and they're
shakes
like,
their hands.
I said, "How you doing?" And they're like, fine. I said, "Follow."
I said, I noticed that you were checking out the young women that my wife is talking to. And they're like, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir."
I said, "Follow me."
Come with me.
And they're like,
what?
Their eyes get really big. And they're like, I said,
Just follow me.
So I bring them over. And of course, now the young women's eyes are getting really big because they're like, "Oh my gosh, they're actually coming over here." So I bring them all over here. I bring them together. And now they're like in two lines, like
facing each other.
Facing it, like they're about to have a gunfight or something. And I'm like, "Okay, I have had enough of this." Okay, so.
No, you didn't say that. This is what he did. He said, "Gentlemen, it's your lucky night. These are 4 of the finest young women I have ever met."
See, I know how to sell it.
And I really wanted to introduce you. I wanted you to have the opportunity to meet them. Ladies, I think you'll be well served by a great conversation with these gentlemen. So I'm going to get us all drinks and you guys just, chat with each other, introduce yourselves to one another and take advantage of this opportunity that you're all in the same room. And they were like, They all just looked, they all had this face of just like
abject terror.
terror. So Jerry takes everybody's drink orders, gets them right, and he starts handing out the drinks and they start chatting with one another. They introduce themselves and Maggie is crying in the background. She wants to
That's our
play
dog.
ball. Anyways, Maggie, Daddy was trying to get these guys to play ball, okay? He was trying to get them to step up, sweetheart.
Okay.
So anyways.
And what happened?
Well, a couple of numbers were exchanged that night. There might have even been, I think there was one couple that actually started dating for a little bit of time. I think they're both married to other people now, but they, this was the first time that they kind of were in a serious relationship.
Broke the ice.
Broke the ice. And And it was good, and nobody was mad at us. They all thanked us.
They're like, well, we never would have done that on our own. I said, yes.
Be brave and the scared, y'all. Be brave and the scared.
But see, that's how it was done back in my day.
Correct.
You had to go up to the girl at the bar or the social or the mixer or church.
The wedding or whatever.
The wedding. And you had to introduce yourself.
The party at school.
The party. And you had to dance or you had to interact. You had to take a chance. Take a chance on me.
He's going to start singing now.
Anyway. So, and that's
what dating's all about.
That, right? Because it sucks when they're like, oh, no, thank you. So ladies, don't ever do that.
Well, no, I'm not going to. No,
time.
I was going to say, hold on. Now, I'm going to defend the ladies here.
Okay.
First of all, you got to feel safe.
Well,
if they are giving off a creepy vibe, you are allowed to say no. But if it's just some kind of awkward dude that looks like he's an engineer and hasn't left his engineering lab in 2 years, he's okay. He's safe. And if he had the guts to come up and ask you, then be kind to him and say yes and dance with him for one dance.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He might be the sexiest man you've ever met and you just didn't know it yet.
Yeah.
Those eyebrows, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, Jerry just pulled his eyebrows out. Yeah,
so,
you need to put those back in neutral, Bubby.
That's what was
dating.
it used to say? What was you say? You got to go through a lot of frogs to find a prince.
That's right. You do. And now I dated 5 different people on 5 different dates, basically, before I met you. Like, I didn't have a lot of dating experience, but I knew what I was looking for. I was looking for someone that made me feel special, for someone that actually looked me in the eyes. Gentlemen, ladies, look one another in the eyes. When you are speaking to someone, I don't care who it is, look them in the eyes. Give them that, that respect, right? So you looked me in the eyes, kind of like you're doing now, but although it feels a little creepy at the moment. So you looked me in the eyes. You, like I said, you were a gentleman, an old school Southern gentleman. You pulled out my chair. You pushed in my chair. Can I get you something to eat? Do you want something to drink? Would you like to dance with me? You want to sit this one out? You want to walk outside and cool down. I mean, you were constantly.
I should have known even then because it's like, yes, I need to walk outside and cool down.
It was so warm.
I should have known.
I'm a hot-natured babe.
Mm-hmm.
You should know that by now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, but this is so the current dating situation, I'm sure we're probably going to get people that say, but Mary, where? There's no opportunities to meet them.
Okay. So excellent question.
Here's the thing, single ladies and married, young marrieds who still have single friends, have a barbecue, throw a party, meet on a Friday night, everybody BYOB, bring your own boy, or BYOG, bring your own girl. Right? Like,
is that a thing?
No, I just made that up. Okay. But I mean, bring your friends, have a game night, play charades, be goofy, be silly.
That's right.
You don't have to get drunk.
When we were young marrieds,
we did.
We tried to set up all our friends.
I had single girlfriends. You had single guy friends, and we would have these charade nights. We would have Trivial Pursuit nights. Yes, there was alcohol. There was usually beer and wine and whatever, but nobody got stupid drunk. I mean, we interacted and everybody was all like chill. So, I mean, there's just so many opportunities that we have to put ourselves in situations where we might meet the one that God has planned for us. Mm-hmm. And the number one place, ladies, is church. If you see that young man receiving communion and he is there and he is faithful, like, hello. Sit behind him at the next mass and say, peace be with you. Just saying.
Uh-huh.
Anyways,
I like practical advice like that.
Well, so that's our advice on dating, right? You got to be brave and the scared. You've got to put some effort into it. You've got to be a gentleman and a lady. You have to look in their eyes. You have to talk about something besides video games, sports, or ladies. I know a lot of women that are youth ministers and very involved in church life, and they want to talk about that all the time. I mean, that's nice and everything, but expand your repertoire, what you can talk about. My grandmother, Green, my dad's father, was a socialite, and she used to tell me, she said before she would host any gathering, she would read the front page of the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the Sports Illustrated magazine, whatever the monthly one was, and then she would go into like the society page that they used to have, right? Or People magazine or whatever it would be. And she would kind of catch up there so that she could have a 5-minute conversation on just about anything going on in the world.
Very smart.
And I learned that from her. And that's what I did. That was one of the first things I taught when I became the president of the Wives Club when we were in VP 11. That's the first thing I said to ladies. They were like, well, I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to do. I'm like, if you prepare, then you're prepared. Like you're not nervous. You're not, you do what you need to do. So, there you go. Those are our thoughts on dating.
Hooray.
So now we're going to play. And if you have other thoughts on dating, please do share them with us. We have, a phone line that you can call, and it's 571-354-0351. You can text it. You can leave a message for us. You can ask us a question, leave a subject that you want us to talk about, make a comment, tell us how much you love us, or tell us how much you don't. And we've got pretty thick skin, so we can take it, and how much you're enjoying the podcast or not. So now it is time. Dum-dum-bum. We have to have a better transition. Like
okay, we're going to play the
drums.
reverse dating game. And now this time I'm going to ask you a question that you get to
This
answer.
is the not so newlywed game.
Yeah, not so newlywed game. Okay,
and this
ready?
is the reverse dating game
Yeah.
edition.
Yep. Okay,
I
ready?
am not ready, but let's go.
Who's your favorite fiction author?
My favorite fiction author.
Mhm.
That would be Jane Austen.
Shocking. I knew that.
Or modern fiction author. That would be Jane Winspear. No, Jacqueline Winspear. Sorry, Jacqueline.
So basically you like anything set in England.
I'm a big Anglophile, yes. And I love historical work.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Elisa Wingate is awesome. Michael Connolly, David Baldacci. I've got lots of them. Okay, yeah. All right, so here's one for you. Who's your favorite fiction author?
Oh, now see, I was thinking about this for a long time. I would have to say Tom Clancy.
And it has been for
I'm just sort of rediscovering Tom Clancy, his original works. I'm like, the guy was really good.
He was.
Practically prophetic.
Practically so. Do you have a top female author?
No.
Wow.
Sorry. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I'll probably get myself in trouble, but I'll say it anyway. Women don't really write thrillers. They write mystery novels, right? But they don't write.
Lisa Gardner writes beautiful.
Well, not like
thrillers.
techno spy thrillers.
You have not found an author, a female author that writes that.
No.
Okay.
I haven't looked either, if I'm being brutally honest. I will say, however, that it was funny when you started reading, what is it, Jacqueline Winspear?
Yeah. She writes novels that start in 1918, and now we're into the middle of World War II.
So it is amazing how much history you learned from reading those novels.
I would ask him questions. I
found it highly
entertaining.
Entertaining.
Yeah.
She's like, what happened here? And
I'm like, Jerry, she's talking about this ambassador, whatever. I said, how long did the Blitz last? And Jerry's like, he's got his head in his hands and he's just like, oh, geez. Mary, did you not read your history book? No, I did not read my history book in high school.
I know.
Shocking. I know you're shocked.
I know I'm shocked, but it was anyway.
Again, number 358 out of 364.
I do find it reasonably gratifying that you love
I'm learning
historical fiction so much, because good historical fiction is actually an excellent teaching tool.
Well, and it's also a great topic of conversation on a date.
Right.
Who's your favorite author?
Talk with a British accent.
No,
say,
don't do that.
Oh, don't do that?
No, not until it's like the third date, maybe.
Or the third
so
drink,
they know you're not.
one.
Oh my gosh.
After I have some Irish whiskey, I can get my Irish on.
Okay, listen.
Saying.
Can we just talk about that for a minute? You don't need to be drunk on a date.
No, that's bad.
That is bad news, people, for both of you.
Unless it's a squadron party.
Jerry Don Lenaburg.
But we were married by then. So.
We were, and I was a designated driver.
And we loved you for it.
Oh my gosh.
All me and my buddies. Jer, Mary's here to drive. Yay! I said, yep, that's it, boys. We're good to go.
What is your favorite date from when we were dating? I am just piling on at the end of this podcast.
I have my
your favorite date?
I don't have just one. I enjoyed all of our dates except for the doc, and we'll have to talk about that later. Did not enjoy that
one.
date. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
No, let's talk about it now.
We're running out of time. See how I did that? Genius.
then we'll talk about it on the next podcast. We will continue the dating series.
Sure, if you want.
Okay.
Do we want to do that? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining us today on the Mary and Jerry podcast. I'm Mary.
I'm Jerry.
Until next time, we'll see you.